All right, now we're doing MDN Web Docs guides, getting started with the web HTML basics. All right, strap in everybody, because this one is very, very long. All right, so let's get started. HTML hypertext markup language is the code that is used to structure a web page and its content. For example, content could be structured within a set of paragraphs, a list of bulleted points, or using images and data tables. As the title suggests, this article will give us a basic understanding of HTML and its functions. All right. So what is HTML? HTML is a markup language that defines the structure of our content. HTML consists of a series of elements. Let's see what that is. All right. Yeah. We might go into that later, which we use to enclose or wrap different parts of the content to make it appear a certain way or act a certain way. The enclosing tags, all right, let's see what tags is. It's also this. So we don't see the thing over here, so I don't even know if we'll be able to get back to this. But c'est la vie, right? The enclosing tags can make a word or image hyperlink to somewhere else. Can make a word or image hyperlink. I guess this is a verb. The verb hyperlink. I thought hyperlink was always a noun, but whatever. To somewhere else. Can italicize words and can make the font bigger or smaller, and so on. Okay? For example, take the following line of content. All right? My cat is very grumpy. If we wanted the line to stand by itself, we could specify that it is a paragraph by enclosing it in paragraph tags. So we got this P right here. My cat is very grumpy, and then the closed P right there. All right, cool. So anatomy of an HTML element. Let's explore this paragraph element a bit further. Okay, cool. So we've got the opening tag here, the closing tag here. We got the content right here, and the whole thing is called the element. All right. So the main parts of our element are as follows. The opening tag, this thing. This consists of the name of the element, in this case P, wrapped in opening and closing angle brackets. So these things right here. This states where the element begins or starts to take effect. In this case, where the paragraph begins. Okay. We got the closing tag. This is the same as here's the closing tag. Okay. This is the same as the opening tag, except for it includes a / before the element name. This one right here. This states where the element ends. In this case, where the paragraph ends. Okay. Failing to add a closing tag is one of the standard beginner errors that can lead to strange results. Yeah, rookie mistakes. All right. So the content. This content. This is the content of the element, which in this case is just text. And then the element, the opening tag, the closing tag, and the content together comprise the element. All right. So elements can also have attributes that look like the following. All right. So here's the attribute right here from class till this end quote. So attributes contain extra information about the element that we don't want to appear in the actual content. Here, class is the attribute name and editor note is the attribute value. Pardon me. The class attribute allows us to give the element a non-unique identifier that can be used to target it and any other elements with the same class value. With style information and other things. Okay. Some attributes have no value, such as required. Required. We were using this the other day on a Code Wars video, but it's completely different. Anyway, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that way later. All right, so let's go over here. Attributes that set a value always have a space between it and the element name or the previous attribute if the element already has one or more attributes. So this space right here. What else? The attribute name followed by an equal sign. So this part right here, purple. And then we've got the attribute value wrapped by opening and closing quotation marks. So this stuff right here. All right, cool. Note, simple attribute values that don't contain ASCII whitespace or any of the characters like these, can remain unquoted, all right? But it is recommended that we quote all attribute values as it makes the code more consistent and understandable. Yeah, we're going to do that anyway, but it's good to know that that's a thing so that if we run into any comedians that like to mess with people with their code, we can see all through that. All right, so nesting elements. We can put elements inside other elements too. This is called nesting. If we wanted to state that our cat is very grumpy, you see how this is just a slightly bit bolder than this and this and this, we could wrap the word very in a strong element, which means that the word is to be strongly emphasized. Let's see this. Okay, so basically it's going to tell us all about the strong stuff. I'm just going to quit clicking these, honestly. We're not even going through them. Here we are with the P. So P, my cat is very grumpy. So that's what they did right here. And they wrapped the very in the strong. So we do, however, need to make sure that our elements are properly nested. In the example above, we opened the P element first, then the strong element. Therefore, we have to close the strong element first, then the P element. The following is incorrect. P, my cat is, then the strong, very grumpy. That's just going to, I don't even know what that's going to do. But yeah, that's not how that works at all. This needs to be here. So, the elements have to open and close correctly so that they are clearly inside or outside one another. If they overlap as shown above, then our web browser will try to make the best guess at what we were trying to say, which can lead to unexpected results. So don't do it. All right, cool. So void elements. Some elements have no content and are called void elements. Take the image element take the image element that we already have in our HTML page. All right, let's open that up while we're at it. So this stuff right here, here's the image right here. You see, let's just go back over here and it'll tell us. This contains two attributes, but there is no closing image tag and no inner content. So here's the attribute 1, attribute 2. This is because an image element doesn't wrap content to affect it. Its purpose is to embed an image in the HTML page in the place it appears. Okay. This is because an image element doesn't wrap content to affect it. Its purpose is to embed okay, it just means to embed an image. All right, I got you. So anatomy of an HTML document, that wraps up the basics of individual HTML elements, but they aren't handy on their own. Now we'll look at how individual elements are combined to form an entire HTML page. Let's revisit the code we put into our index.html example, which we first did in the dealing with files article, so the last one. So just open up the thing from whatever this is, VS Code. So we've got this right here. This is the one that they did. And let's dissect this. So here we have the following doc type. So this doc type, this thing at the top right here, is a required preamble. In the midst of time, when HTML was young, around 91 or 92, doc types were meant to act as links to a set of rules that the HTML page had to follow to be considered good HTML. What an artsy sentence for this page, which could mean automatic error checking and other useful things. I don't know what any of that means, but whatever. I guess he thinks he's talking to pros, or this person thinks this person is talking to pros. However, these days, they don't do much and are basically just needed to make sure our document behaves correctly. That's all we need to know for now. Okay, so just put it there and don't even think. So now we're talking about this HTML tag, the HTML element, I should say. This element wraps all the content on the entire page and is somewhat known as sometimes known as the root element. It also includes the lang attribute, setting the primary language of the document. Okay, so now we've got the head element, this thing right here, and then close right here, and then here's the HTML starts here and closes here. All right, so let's come down here. This element acts as a container for all the stuff we want to include on the HTML page that isn't the content we are showing to our page's viewers. This includes things like keywords and a page description that we want to appear in search results, CSS to our style content, CSS to style our content, character set declarations, and more. Okay. So this includes, okay, that stuff, no big deal. So we've got this meta character, meta char set equals UTF-8. So we've got this right here, and we've also got another one right here. All right, let's look at that. This element sets the character set our document should use to UTF-8, which includes most characters from the vast majority of written languages. Essentially, it can now handle any textual content we might put on it, okay? There is no reason not to set this, and it can help avoid some problems later on. So just do this, don't ask questions. All right. Here we go, meta name, viewport, content, width equals device to width, okay? So this viewport element, this one right here, all right. This viewport element, where were we? Char set, here we go. This viewport element ensures the page renders at the width of viewport, preventing mobile browsers from rendering pages wider than the viewport and then shrinking them down, okay? So we got the title element right here. Get this off of here. All right. This sets the title of our page, which is the title that appears in the browser tab the page is loaded in. It is also used to describe the page when we bookmark or favorite it. All right, still not even halfway, everybody. So now we got the body element right here. The whole thing is this thing is inside, the image is inside our body element. All right, so the body element contains all the content that we want to show to web users when they visit our page, whether that's text, images, videos, games, playable audio tracks, or whatever else. All right. So now we're on to image. So let's turn our attention to the image element again, all right? This is what we did, I think, on the dealing with files right here. Or was it here? Anyway, whatever. As we said before, this embeds an image into our web page in the position it appears. It does this via the source attribute, which contains the path to our file image. All right. There's also included an alt attribute. In the alt attribute, we specify descriptive text for users who cannot see the image, possibly because of the following reasons. They are visually impaired. Users with significant visual impairments often use tools called screen readers to read out the alt text to them. Also, something has gone wrong, causing the image not to display. For example, if we try deliberately changing the path inside our source attribute to make it incorrect. All right, my bad. If we save and reload the page, we should see something like this in place of the image. So my test image right here instead of the actual image. Okay. So the keywords for alt text are descriptive text. The alt text we write should provide the reader with enough information to have a good idea of what the image conveys. In this example, our current text of my test image is no good at all. A much better alternative for the Firefox logo would be the Firefox logo, a flaming fox surrounding the earth. These guys played a lot of fantasy role-playing games. It just feels like, based on the verbiage around here. But whatever, who's perfect? So we got that. We did this. So we're going to try to come up with some better alt text for the image now. Well, a red book, I'm pretty sure that's pretty good for the red book that we've been using. So I'm going to keep that one right there. Let's come down here to marking up text, because this is a little out of what I'm trying to do. So marking up text. This section will cover some essential HTML elements we'll use for marking up the text. Here we go. So headings. Heading elements allow us to specify that certain parts of our content are headings or subheadings. In the same way that a book has the main title, chapter titles, and subtitles, an HTML document can too. HTML contains 6 heading levels, H1 through H6, although we'll commonly use only 3 to 4 at most. All right, so here's an example of some headings right here. Okay. And we've done this a ton on Free Code Camp, even a little bit of the W3s that I scrapped the other day. So you can see this is nothing new, unless you're new. So note, anything in HTML between this thing, so a angle bracket with an exclamation point and two dashes, and then 2 dashes in another angle bracket going the other way, is an HTML comment. The browser ignores comments as it renders the code. In other words, they are not visible on the page, just in the code. HTML comments are a way for us to write helpful notes about our code or logic. And in one of the scrapped W3s, we go more in depth on this. So now we're going to try adding a suitable title to our HTML page just above our image element. All right, so let's come on over here. And just above the image element, we've got this title, but I think we're making another title right here. Maybe. But let's do that anyway. So title. What did I say when I was rehearsing this? Red Book Blues. All right. I had a nice little joke about how ironic this was, but you had to have been there. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to use for the title. You can put whatever you want, obviously. Let's come on over here. Note, we'll see that our heading level 1 has an implicit style. We're not going to use heading elements to make text bigger or bold because they are used for accessibility and other reasons such as SEO. Yes, you don't want to mess with anything that the bots are going to crawl over. You want to do it as professional as possible so that Google can slap you at the top of the list. You know what I mean? We're going to try to create a meaningful sequence of headings on our pages without skipping levels. All right? But not right now. So paragraphs. As explained above, the P elements are for containing paragraphs of text. We'll use these frequently when marking up regular text content. All right, so this is a single paragraph right here. So we'll add our sample text, which I don't remember us making. I know they said something about it, we didn't do it. We should have it from this last one, like 2 videos ago, into one or a few paragraphs placed directly below our image element. So let's just do that right now. Didn't do it before. If you did, throw it in there, but if not, let's just make it right now. So let's say something like this. If a red book makes you sad, sing the blues makes us comrade. Just kidding, but it is entertainment, so I got to do that. Sing the blues and we'll be glad. How about that for a rhyme? Let me put a period because it is a paragraph. So let's come on back over here. All right, so we did that. Lists. A lot of the web's content is lists, comma, and HTML has special elements for these. Marking up lists always consists of at least 2 elements. The most common list types are ordered and unordered lists. Unordered lists are for lists where the order of the items don't matter, such as a shopping list. These are wrapped in a UL element. Well, I mean, anyway, I'm not going to go over how to make a great shopping list, but whatever. So unordered lists are for lists where the order of the items do matter, such as a recipe. These are wrapped in OL elements, so UL and OL. Each item inside the list is put inside an LI element, which means list item. Okay, for example, if we wanted to turn part of the following paragraph fragment into a list, part of the paragraph fragment, okay, whatever. At Mozilla, we're a global community of technologists, thinkers, and builders working together. Okay, guys, thanks. So we could modify the markup to this. At Mozilla, we're a global community of technologists, thinkers, and builders working together, ... Okay, I don't get it. What's the ... for? Anyway, maybe there's something after that. So we're going to try adding an ordered list or unordered list to our example page. All right, so let's come on over here. I had a much more cringy thing over here, but I'm going to try to make something a little less cringy. So let's say ways to cure the blues, little colon right there. Then we're going to have the UL, because it doesn't matter, you can use anyway. And then we're going to press enter, then we're going to have list items, LI, like that. And let's do 3 of them. So I'm going to do a little copy paste. Copy, 1, 2, just like thus. And we'll say, sing a song. Sing a song. Do a little dance. Get down. Get down. Get down. No, that's too 70s. Have some fun. Have some fun. How about that? I can't think of anything better. All right, cool. So let's come on back over here. Here we are at links. So links are very, very, very important. They are what makes the web the web. The web a web, my bad. To add a link, we need to use a simple element, A. A being short for anchor. To make text within our paragraph into a link, we're going to follow these steps. We're going to choose some text. These folks chose Mozilla Manifesto. Okay, guys. I need you guys to stop reading those political books, guys, because that's not a fun word there, guys. In my opinion, anyway, so wrap the text in an anchor element. We're going to wrap the text in an anchor element as shown below. So throw it like this, and then we're going to give the A element an href attribute as shown below. A, href, and then something in between these here, and then Mozilla Manifesto, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to fill in the value of this attribute with the web address that we want to link to. Okay, so let's do that over here for something. So we'll say under here, change it up a little bit. Let's say P, right like that. All right, and let's say something like this. Not capital P, bro. P. All right, let's make that lowercase right there. And then let's say how to be humble. Nah, how to be humble. Let's be humble. I'll do it in capitalized in title text, but it doesn't really matter. And let's change this up to be humble. All right, that looks good. And let's make this lowercase. Sorry for all the formatting, but I didn't do this in the rehearsal at all. It was something completely different that I'm not going to talk about. So we've got that. So now we're going to wrap this in the A tag like this, not like that. Oh, sorry guys. A like that, and then we'll take this humble and we'll throw it right in here, and we'll uncapitalize it. Make this B right like that, and then put in a period after the A like that, and that should be good. And then we're going to say right here href equals, and then they already give us the quotes, and let's go find a page on how to be humble. How to be humble. Humility, skills we need. All right, let's take that. That's not where we are. Let's come over here and slap that right in there, and look at that. We got a link now. We'll check it later. Actually, we can check it now. Let's file save. Let's go over to the thing right over here. Web projects, test site. Let's see what it looks like. We got this, and look at that. We got the how to be humble, shabam, just like thus. All right. So now we're cooling on that end. We might get unexpected results if we omit the HTTPS or HTTP, but we're going to straight up just copy and paste from here because look at that. It selects it all if you just click in there, so no big deal. And this part is called the protocol at the beginning of the web address. So after making the link, we'll click on it to make sure it's sending us to where we wanted it to go, and that's what we did. So note, href might appear like a rather obscure choice for an attribute name at first. If we are having trouble remembering it, remember that it stands for hypertext reference. This is the first time in X number of years that I've been trying to learn websites that I've actually seen this right here. So now we're going to add a link. We just added it. So there we go. So now, look at that conclusion, the best word on this whole page. If we have followed all the instructions in this article, we should end up with a page that looks like the one below, and we can view it here. Let's view it here. Okay, and that's the one they got. Let's open the one we got. Come on, guy. All right, and it looks pretty much the same. And so let's go on back over here. Not here, here, and here. Okay, cool. So it looks pretty much the same, except for we don't have the Mac because we don't have $1 million, unless you do, and then good, it must be nice. Anyway, if we get stuck, we can always compare our work with our finished example code on GitHub. Let's go check out that. Yeah, it looks pretty much the same as this. Let's come on over here. So here we have only really scratched the surface of HTML. So to find out more, we can go to the Learning HTML topic, which is, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So let's go to the next page. CSS basics. So that's what we're going to be doing next, and we'll see you next time.